We're live? I think we're live. There you go. Hey everyone, and welcome to another studio session with me, Decibel Man. Today we're gonna have a really cool and interesting session Sunday afternoon to create a really nice, what in my opinion is a template for Logic. I'm gonna show you briefly my setup. I'm gonna show you the way I set up my channels. And this template, when you're gonna create it, it can be started as a template for all other projects that you're gonna be doing. Doesn't matter if this is techno, if this is a trance, if this is progressive tech house, like everything that has a range of 120 to 138, 40, 140 BPMs. This template will work really well. I'm gonna explain you briefly the plugins that I'm using, why I'm using them in that way, and what it gives me. And later on, when you're gonna try to apply those on your end, you're gonna hear the effects as well. It's a lot of plugins. Most of them are paid plugins, so it's not stock plugins. I use them because I really like the way they work and what they do with the sound, and as far as like what benefits you get by using them. And then I'll explain you my routing outside of the logic and how everything works here. So let's get down to it. We're gonna start from opening a channel, and the first one I'm gonna use is gonna be actually. Let me just bring the volume a little bit higher. First thing we're gonna use is actually a software instrument. For now, it doesn't matter which one it's going to be. All right, let's see here. So first thing you want to do is set up like a triggering channel for side chaining. Sometimes I like to use stock plugin, a stock compressor from Logic. And I have a preset here. It's essentially, let me check. I call it sidechain source. It's basically the stock plugin from Logic. This is how it sounds. Just a small tick. Just gonna set up levels to be like really healthy. That's all it is. We're just gonna route it to an empty bus. So from channel to bus, let's do even like 40. And that channel from this channel to the bus goes here. And we're not gonna send it anywhere. Just no output. So now when you play something, you can't really hear it, but it's still sending that signal channel. All right, so we got this. We can create a MIDI channel just for the clicks. And loop it with L. And that's how we get a signal for a sidechain source. Okay, I usually like to change the color at this point. Coloring is very important to me because you will easily in the future, when you're going to be arranging your mix, where is it? Oh, it's right here. When you're going to be arranging your music, you're going to be able to see what elements do you see in the project. All right, the second thing we're going to do, we're going to put kick. Can be another instrument. We're going to use both because remember, this is a template, guys. And template supposed to be set up already to work. Doesn't matter if you use audio or plugin. I just use this one for now. Okay. You can already put some MIDI notes on it. You're always going to have 4 pretty much 4 and 4 all the time. So, all right. Can color the kick some other color. And we're going to add another audio track. And I also have a preset here for the kick. Actually, we're just going to double this one. Is it under here? Yeah, there you go. All right. So this is what I use for my kicks. All those plugins here. Usually I start with this one. All depends. Doesn't really matter what you're going to use at the beginning. Those plugins here, I got them from Christian something. What's his name? Shoot. Anyway, this is from the video from another guy that I took. It's really gives a lot of effects and different ranges of frequencies for the kick. You have the sub here. If you need a sub, this is not a low and mid range plugin. To beef it up, I will keep the level low to give that extra woobiness. Then you have something in the mid range, more for punchiness. Almost top end and really high top end, and you can get those clicks nicely pull up here. This is also for coloring. I use that Pultec EQ for filtering, Pro Q2, and sometimes to control the tail of the kick, I use this kind of preset on this volume shaper. So if the kick is too long, I'm able to cut it with this sort of like LFO tool kind of plugin. All right, so we got the kick. We're gonna do one more audio. That's for any kicks that we're gonna be importing here, and we can just copy the plugins. So you might need them. All right, and we're gonna keep it that way. Another is gonna be a percussion. Actually, no. Usually what I do here at this point, kick in a sub bass. This is something that's very important to notice, that this is pretty much the most important thing in any track. The relationship between a kick and a bass doesn't always go well. It's hard to sometimes maintain it and balance it, but it's doable. That's why I'll show you what I do with this. So I would add normally another software instrument, since I want to have a pure sine wave. And I would probably put ESX24 in mono. All right. So I have their very low end. And that low end eventually will be mixed together with the kick. So if you're ever going to be creating any music, any sound between these two, let's say we're going to have something like that going on, just the short notes. All right. At this point, we have pretty much two elements that take the most energy out of the mix. I like to group them together and treat them together. But first, we need to find a balance. So what I usually do, I create a bus dedicated just for that particular reason, just to blend those two sounds together. So kick and a bass would be going to something that I usually like to call, let's see, we're going to go low end. And now, the only thing that I do here is because of my setup. Let me show you that real quick. I basically Basically, guys, I have a. Oh my god, this thing died on me. Never mind. All right, this thing it's a summing mixer, and I like to mono the signals analogically within this unit. So what I would do on a mixer in Logic, I would send the kick all the way to the left and bass all the way to the right. They're mono, remember. So when those two channels gonna be summed in here on the actual unit, the signals gets analogically joined together. But we need to send that signal first. So let's try that. So from bus low end, we're gonna be sending this not to stereo out, but output 1 and output 3 and 4. And now this thing is being fed to this analog summing mixer. And even though, as you can see, they're playing notes left and right channel, just because it's mono right now, it seems like it's in the middle. So this is the setup, guys. The signal, how it goes. This is the kick. I'm gonna name the kick. Kick 2. This is sub, and I'm gonna color it sub along with this. So at least I know these two elements working together. They're very familiar colors. That's how I like to label them. All right, we're summing them together in this box. So we can treat the channel together. And what we're gonna do is basically put a compressor. I like to use the glue compressor. And there I have settings for kick. Let me show you what those are. There you go. You can check it out. And let's listen to what it does to the sound. Without. You can play a little bit with what frequencies you want to compress. All right, this is just the basics. All right, let's move on. The next one will be the percussion. I like to work on the percussion next. So what we're going to do next is just add regular software instrument. And it's going to be I like to put the SX24 because I have really cool samples from Vengeance. Very standard, and for the startup, this is perfect. You don't need nothing fancy. You can have claps. Oops. Oh, there you go. So you can something here, just the MIDI notes. Like that, loop it. Doesn't matter for now, this is just the sound. What I like to group channels, okay, let's just call it clap 1. Since we're probably gonna use couple claps usually. This is not SYB, it's a sub. Come on. All right. And I created a shortcut in Logic to rename the tracks as I select them. I just changed the N key, and that's how you get it. All right. So the names of the actual MIDI tracks is renamed as well. All right. Then we're gonna do another channel. It can be the same thing, so we can just click on Command and D. Option D, Command D. And Command D just duplicates the track. And we can use a different even instrument, like a battery, for example. I really like the samples from battery. .808 is pretty much standard. So we can have hi-hats. Call it. Just gonna copy the MIDI node and just make more notes in here. And we can find something from battery. Which one? Okay, let's see. Yeah, we can use this one. Set up tempo to 126 beats per minute. And let's see, we have kick, sub bass, clap, hi-hats. And we're going to prepare a couple more tracks here. And also I'm going to do a very important thing. Pretty much on every plugin, I put an EQ because most likely you're going to cut. And I usually just cut frequencies. I don't boost that much. You just want to have good EQ across all those tracks, just in case if you need some EQing. It's going to save you a lot of time in the future. So this is what this tutorial is all about. We can even turn it off for now, so don't take the CPU from our computer. And what else we're going to need? We're probably going to need some compression along the line. We're not going to put anything for now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to group them. I'm just going to rename them. Just going to call some tracks the way they're probably going to be end up doing. Percussion elements. And we might want to add some audio as well. I call them like loops, maybe if I'm going to use the loops. Just create a couple of them. So as you can see, this thing is piling up. Let me just put EQ on each channel. I'm basically pressing and holding Command and Control and just clicking from place to place. That's how you get to copy the plugin. Just like that. All right, now so we got the tracks. We're just going to set them up as a group. And what I usually do, I treat my claps and snares differently than the entire other percussion elements. So for now, let's see the clap and maybe another clap. I'm just gonna copy that over. These two claps, they're gonna go to different group. It's gonna be separate bus, and it's gonna be, let's call it 8. Double click here. This is only claps and snares. So I just call it claps for now. And this channel is going to go all the way to my output to 1516. We should be able to see that and hear that on the over here. As you can see it. So now what I like to do, I can use harmonics. Works really well in snares. Or I can use power limiting. But you don't need that now. So this is only claps, channel 15 and 16 out. And the other one's going to be the rest of the percussion. So every element here, it's going to go to one subcategory, one bus. It's going to be 7 in this case, and 7 will go out to output 17 and 18. Actually, we're going to swap the other one. Hold on. So now, just to be clear, claps are going out on channel 15, 16 here, and everything else on this one. So let's check the signal flow again. Kick and a sub together to a bus called low end right here, and then from low end it goes to output 3 and 4 on the actual summing mixer. Then we have a claps 1 and 2. They go to bus 8, which then goes to output 17 and 18. And then we have rest of the percussion from here to here. Sorry, from here to here. Everything goes to bus 7, and 7 goes to 15 and 16. All right. So now if we want to control it, we have those outputs here. This is low end. Then we have a snare or claps. Then we have a percussion. All right, this is snare. Sorry, guys. And this is percussion. All right. Another elements, we're going to need some bass lines. Software instrument. I'm going to leave Nexus for now. Just something basic like a square. And that's going to be our bass one. I'm going to duplicate that maybe 3 times. I don't think we're going to use more than 3 bass lines. I don't recommend it. Something very on the bottom if you don't use the sub for previous setup. Something in the middle and something sharp on top. That's going to be bass 2. That's going to be bass 3. Oh, wait. Bass 1, bass 2, bass 3. Perfect. Create some MIDI notes, even empty, just for now. This is only for coloring purposes, basically. Put a red on it or something like brown. And we're going to group them together as well. We're going to group them to bus number 2. And that's bus we're going to call bass. And this will be going to output 5 and 6. So 1 and 2 channels being some analogically to mono. Then we have a bass. Then we have percussion. Let's see. Percussion, yes. And then we have a snare. So this is for now. Another thing we want to do for the bass is put EQ, of course. Just in case. Oh, this is the place we need to put it on. So if we can EQ it right away. All right, we're not gonna play. We're not gonna play anything now. Let's do another one. It's time for some leads. We're gonna create another track. Software instruments. I'm gonna put like I don't know, Spire. Choose right away some more leads. So if we need to play something, this guy is really good. Let's check him out. Some lead. All right. Gonna duplicate that. Let's just call lead for now. Okay, we're going to rename the tracks. All right. We got this, create some MIDI notes. I'm going to switch to scissor. Okay. And I'm going to also create another one. And color them properly. Put like maybe blue, not blue, something that's like standing out there. There you go. And another one, we also gonna group them together. Put in the bass. Number 3 in this case, we're gonna call leads. And leads will be going to output number 7 and 8, which in reality is actually 5 and 6 on the actual mixer. So let me show you what I did. I added another instrument here, another channel with MIDI, rename them, group them together to a bus, which was this one right here, renamed it leads, and is going to the output, to the actual summing mixer. All right. Last thing we want to do is maybe a pads. For pads, we can use something really smooth and silky. I like Omnisphere a lot. I usually start with, this is my starting part, either this one or Alchemy. This is 2 plugins that I use and I like to use. Gonna skip the updates for now. Gonna pick some pads. All right, you got some pads here. Create empty MIDI note. Color it properly. I like the blue. Gonna duplicate that as well. All right. We're also gonna summarize it into a bus right here. We're gonna call it pads. And it's gonna be going out to different output, which is 9 and 10. Perfect. There's another channel that I want to create. It's mostly for effects, noises, white noises, and all that kind of atmospheric sounds. And it's going to be both. It's going to be audio. It's going to be actual instrument, because I like to use both. So this will be like atmospheric. We're just going to call Atmos. Effects. I'm going to group them together as well to another group. Before I want to do that, I want to summarize it. Give me a second. So this will be a bus called effects. And then this bus will be going to an output 11 and 12, which in reality is going to be actually 9 and 10. All right. And if there's going to be a vocal, that's where this channel is going to go as well. Let's see. So we got this part. We're just going to color it properly, if anything. By the way, when I'll be coloring those, I also want to color the actual channels in the bottom. As you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, the leads needs to be like yellow. Base is going to be brown. The loops can stay like this. It's fine. Maybe just put them like in kind of gray. And all the other elements, I guess, put them like green. Yeah, I'll do green. All right. So we got this part taken care of. Now, of course, I'm going to copy over the EQ to all the channels. Atmos effects. So then if you need it, you don't have to open that plugin again. And you're going to EQ every channel pretty much. I doubt it if somebody just leaves sometimes, unless it's like perfect sounding already, pre-master, pre-compressed, and then pre-EQ. Let's see what's next. So now I'm going to be putting plugins that I use on channels as I make the sounds. On the sub itself, I like to put a distortion plugin from Logic. Just a regular, just a distortion. This will be pretty much the setting I would use. All right, we got that part. On the bass lines, well, that's a big palette you can use here. But you're definitely gonna need some sort of compression. And actually, I'm just gonna set up the plugins that I do use on the bus. For the bass, I like to use where is it? Is it in the compressors? Nope. I'll just find it just like that. Okay. So it's gonna be on the Universal Audio. And I like to use this plugin right here. Where are you? This one right here. I wish I could get my hands on the actual unit. And probably in the future I will. But for now, the plugin works really well. Works really well. And I would also put a filter. I like to use this one. All right. And probably a sidechain after all that. And I'm using for sidechaining sometimes Nicky Romero plugin, but I really like Volume Shaper. I have it's very, very flexible. You can really dial in the settings you need. So you can really dial in what you're looking for. Groove is, you can get a really nice groove just by sidechaining properly the bass. And I'm just pressing one note. All right, so we got that. On the percussion, one more thing I like to use on the bass channel. It's an EQ from Mag. The Mag EQ, I think, works really well. Okay, let me just color the bass properly here as well. Pads were blue. This was what leads. Yellow. Let's do them yellow. Low end was this color. And the claps are green. And this is what? Oh, this is percussion. Green as well. All right, so what I like to use is the Maggie Q. I use it also the version from Universal Audio. I'll show you why. Look what it does to the bass. Oh, let me play some bass. Emphasize the frequencies in a really cool way. But yeah, this is what I like to use as well. And that's going to be it for the bass. Let's go back to actual percussions. Claps, when they go into a bus, I like to use the compressor for the DBX 160 and from Waves in this case. And I like to use the preset from, let's see, which one was it? It was the preset for claps or snares. Yeah. I would set up different threshold. As you can see, it gets the snappiness. And I would also use compressor from Shadow Hills. Maybe not on claps. Well, actually, let's see what they have for claps. I usually use this one anyway, so we're just going to copy that. Yeah, we're losing a little bit of the dynamics here. But this is really cool plugin to put on the master for any percussion. So we're just going to copy that over here to the actual percussion. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Play around with the settings. I'm just going to use the light groove. That's what I like to use usually. Yeah, it's very quiet. Anyway, so this is what I would use for the bus for the percussion. And let's see. Also, what I would like to use for the percussion is the EQ, which we are missing here as well. Just for some final tweaks and some low cutting here. At least 200. Leads. I usually just put a nice limiter for sure. And for that purpose, I like to use Sonox limiter. Let's see if we can hear any. Okay. Cool lead. Okay. We can do pluck too. They will be probably going to a different channel as well, but for now we're just gonna leave it as this. And let's see. So there's no master channel, guys. And the way it works, all those channels right now, they're all being sent to a summing mixer, all those channels here. I'm gonna switch it over and I'll show you guys how it right now looks like. So here, as you can see, you have those channels being summed together with this unit, compressed a little bit and limited, and that's it. And the signal goes back to the actual DAW. And what I do is just limiting and semi-queuing on the actual external analog toys that I have here. But for now, this is pretty much it. Every time you're going to be adding another element here, let's say the bass, if you're going to duplicate, it's already going to be pre-selected with the same EQ, same configuration for the bus. So it's very this template can grow as you're gonna be adding stuff to the actual mix. Of course, I would add a few more like audio tracks just to basically have it there. Just if I need to drop a loop, I don't have to reroute and stuff. So, for example, if I have lead, I can do let's say another audio channel. Just make sure it's routed to the right. Put a key on it right away, and make sure it's routed to the same bus as the other elements. And that might be like lead 5 if you're using like actual samples in Logic. That's pretty much it. And I would say this as a template. Make sure the tempo is right. This is just the basic setup, and you can take it from here. Let's save it as a template. And you can call it EDM, whatever, 126. And I usually do multiple templates with different tempos and different pre already entered, like a kick. So if I would be looking for techno kick, for example, let's see, I would change to different plugin, like Metrum. And what I would do is go to kick library. There's Electro and House. There's not really techno. There's Tech House. Let's see. And I have this one running. And just take it from here. I would basically change the synthesizers and elements and percussions that I'm using for different genre, and just call that specific template like 126 techno, 138 trance, 122 tech house, whatever you guys want to do. And this is basically the template. And next time you're going to be opening something, you want to create new from template. Close, not save it. And there it is. You just select this one. It's going to load everything for you right off the bat. Oh, one more last thing. I would usually also, let's wait for the template to load. I would usually also add some effects depending on the genre. So if this is going to be like a techno one, I would create some effects. Let's see. Let's choose something that is not like trancey sound. Okay, we can leave this. Okay. So if this would be like a techno-oriented, let's say I have this sound, And I want to add some presets for like the sounds here. Let's say I'll probably do like some sort of reverb that, let's see, black hole maybe. Mix all the way up and have it basically there. So if I need it, and have something that's going to be doing that for me. So it's there. If I'm going to ever need to use something else, like a clap, I can easily just go there. And I would probably put EQ on it as well, just to have it there always. And you basically can start creating those nice presets as you being creative and working on it. And if you like something, just save it under your name and just save it as a preset, like techno preset. You can do that here as well. Basically save channel strip settings. And have a long reverb and short reverb for percussion. Like in this case, I can create a bus. It's going to be short reverb. And we can use something fancy. EMT 250 is cool. Small room. We can do it like for hi-hats as well. We can apply the same short kind of. So integrity of reverb is kind of important because you don't clutter up your mix that much with different. Basically you have a control over it, what's happening with it too. I would probably EQ the reverb itself as well, just in case. But if you're gonna EQ your source, I don't think there's gonna be bleeding any low frequencies or anything like that to the actual reverb that you're applying it to. So just EQ it first and should be fine. And let's see here. Short reverb. And then you can play around with the settings and dial it in and basically save that as well. And that's it pretty much. Let's see, maybe delay. You can really come creative as far as like setting up your template and then expand it as you learn something new. And you can always open the template itself. Like right now, this is still just a template open. It's not a saved project. So as I improve my template, let's say I just learn a trick. Let's say I just watched a video about parallel compression, right? And I want to apply it to my template. I just have this template open. And we can always save as. Save template as and override the existing one. Replace. So this is our template. We just have a template open. Let's say we just watched a video about New York compressor power limiting video, and we want to apply this, see how it's going to work on our template. All right, so this is pretty much what it is. It's essentially all the channels you have here for percussion. You can run into bus. Jesus. My cat just dropped something. By the way, guys, this was not a dead animal. She's always hanging out with me when I make videos. Cooking, she's my fan number one. And yeah, she just dropped my satellite, universal audio satellite. It's okay. Um, so what I was talking about, the actual, let's see, parallel emitting. Okay, let's say we just learned something and we want to apply this to our template. The way it works, basically, like I said, everything goes to one channel. And on that channel, we're going to put a compressor. And let's see which one we can use. API 2500 maybe. Maybe they have it here already. If not, oh, I think I have the, let me just check that. Cooking is blocking my view. Cooking, przesunięcie. Let me check one thing because I want to use that specific plugin. Let's see if I have a license for it. I do. All right. Looks like I bought it. This dresser, this is legendary unit for that. Let's see if they have any preset for that. I really don't see it. Let's see, we can do those settings, see how they sound like, and see if it's going to work. And this will be going as well to the bus where all the percussions are going. So let's say this thing works and you want to save it as the template. Same thing. Oh, not new from template. Save as. Override it. And there you go. You have a updated template that you can already have this thing set up here. And that's how you can grow your template, you know, for the stuff that really works for you, and have it basically that way. That's going to be it for now. If you have any questions, if you have any ideas how to improve this template, let me know in the comments below. We're going to finish for now. I'm going to actually go to music production, and that's going to be another live stream. So stay tuned.